You're probably thinking, why, Mark, are you wearing your blue Hawaiian shirt with the waves on it? You're not drunk or hungover? Well, you know what? Sometimes it's just good to feel good. G'day, guys. Welcome back to Steelers Nation Australia. So I just got done looking at a podcast. It was Matt Williamson, I think, on DK Sports. And they were talking about Super Bowl hopes with the quarterbacks and Kenny Pickett and talking about Lamar Jackson from Josh Burrow, Josh Allen, Joe Burrow, whoever you want to name them, right? All these kind of quarterbacks with Pat Mahomes and, who's going to be who in the zoo, what quarterback in the next 5-10 years can win one. So that made me think this year. It made me think about this question. We're going into Green Bay. The Steelers sitting up 5-3. And it made me think about this question, or more or less this statement. The Steelers not being favorite, our Pittsburgh Steelers not being favorite to win the Super Bowl is a good thing, right? Now, I still want them to. I hope they can. But in the same reality, it's actually a very good thing this year. Being 5-3 and how bad the team has played in certain circumstances on offense, and sometimes how bad the team has played in defense, and they're still sitting there at 5-3, is a good thing because we still have a chance, and we have a chance to go to the wild card, to go to the playoffs, and things like that. But it made me think about the other teams too, right? So it made me think about the Ravens, the Browns, the Bengals, the Dolphins, the Bills, the Jets, teams like that. We're going to focus on the AFC North because they're the guys who we're going to face in the playoffs, right? So as the Steelers are not Super Bowl favorite, Kenny Pickett is not MVP favorite. Our defense is playing good football. We're running the ball better than we were before. But I think there's more pressure on teams like Miami, Bills, Jets, Ravens, like I said, Browns, Bengals, Jacksonville looking to win their division. Bit of pressure on those guys. Texans are the team on the up and up. Then you go to the West, is KC and Mahomes looking to get another Super Bowl. That would be his third. And the Chargers, who won today over the Jets, 4-4, right? So there's a lot of pressure. And you look around this and go, well, it's actually a good thing that the Steelers aren't having all this pressure to go and win one this year. I know the fan base wants a playoff win, but also the fan base is quite funny because of the fan base wants a playoff win. And out of all the years, they want to stress it so much on Kenny Pickett's second year. They want to stress it that it's pretty much like a new team, rebuilding year from last year and this year with Kenny Pickett going into the future. So I understand you guys want a playoff win, and they can win a playoff win this year. They can. If the Steelers get to the playoffs, they can win a game because they can beat all these teams. Maybe the only exception, I feel like the ones they couldn't maybe beat is probably the Chiefs. Chiefs are a good team, but still on any given Sunday, they can beat them. So I thought, in the spirit of what Matt did from, I think it's Matt there, from Matt Williamson from DK Sports, I thought I'd go through the teams and see who's got the most pressure and why it's good for the Steelers not to have that pressure, right? Here's Miami Dolphins. They've got Tua, so they've invested all their money into Tua. They're 6-3. They're on a losing streak. They're L1. Buffalo Bills and Josh Allen. I've talked about Josh Allen before. I'm not a huge fan. I think he throws the ball away, and I think he throws the game away. So there's pressure on the Buffalo Bills never having won one, who've been 0-4. They went to 4 in a row years ago. Now they've got their all-star quarterback, all-pro quarterback, and there's pressure on that organization to win right now. So they're 5-4. And here the Steelers sitting back there with Kenny Pickett, the defense. And by the way, a lot of injuries been happening to us. Holcomb now and Minkah Fitzpatrick out. And there's a lot of pressure on Bills and Dolphins. Everyone's cheering for Tua to get one. Everyone's cheering for the Bills organization to get one. And if they don't, are they wasting talent? We've always heard that narrative. Well, the Steelers are wasting talent with AB and Big Ben. Now let's move into the Jets. The Jets made a huge trade to get Aaron Rodgers. And what you saw last night was Zach Wilson playing horrible football, and their offense stinks. They got 6 points. So there's also pressure on that organization. If you stick with the AFC East, and that is New England Patriots, they all talk about Mike Tomlin having a bad record since Big Ben left, which he hasn't, by the way. Talk about him not being a great coach. Well, what about Bill Belichick? His team is 2-7. Is there not pressure on those New England Patriots who have lost 2 in a row that may miss or look like they're going to miss the playoffs again? I'm just saying, there's more pressure on other teams than us. If you stick to the AFC North, the Baltimore Ravens have all their money invested in Lamar Jackson, signed into a big deal. So if he doesn't get it done this year, yes, he's good versus the NFC, but is he good versus guys like us versus Steelers and also guys in our division? Okay. They've won 2-1 in the division. They've won 4 in a row. They can beat the NFC, but can they beat the guys in the playoffs? And Lamar Jackson, he's 1-3 in the playoffs. Can he get it done? A lot of pressure on the Ravens to win games and also to win for the next step. The Browns, of course, with Deshaun Watson, spent all that money. They're doing what they're doing on their organization. Haven't won one ever. The Bengals in a similar kind of boat, spending all their money on Josh Burrow or Joe Burrow, whatever his name is. That organization is, roaming around Super Bowl territory, but not getting the job done. So there's more pressure on those 3 franchises inside our own division than there is our team, the Steelers, right? We're a team not meant to be there. The Steelers right now are 5-3. We're seen as we're not meant to be there. And when if the Steelers beat the Green Bay Packers, they'll say 6-3. There's no way. That's a terrible team. They just keep getting lucky. We're not meant to be there. All right, let's move on. AFC South, Jaguars are the up-and-coming team. They took care of business with us, that's for sure. They're going to win their division or look likely to win their division. Looks likely. Now, Texans are having a good fight as well. They're 4-4. So you've got the Stroud, the new bloke, and Lawrence, who won 5 in a row. Now, this one's kind of funny because these franchises are fairly new to winning. That is Texans, never won one. That is Jaguars. Both these teams have never been. Colts are 4-5. I think they have less pressure now because they lost their quarterback in Anthony Richardson. So there's no pressure there. Titans are going through something very similar to what I think the Steelers were or are, is new transition of new quarterback. Ryan Tannehill was done. So they're 3-5. Zero pressure for them, right? If you go to the West, KC, of course, they're predicted to win another one. The Chargers are 4-4. That team is I saw Justin Herbert's stats today. I think he's 28-28, something like that. In his career, in his actual head-to-head losses or wins and losses, he's 28-28 or 29-28. So they all talk about Herbert's the next big thing. Here we go. With Herbert, can he win a Super Bowl? I don't know. With the Chargers, you never know. The Chargers are that good of a team where they play all good through the season, they get to the playoffs, and they choke. So I'm not too worried about them. The Raiders just had their coach got fired, and now I think is it Pierce over that way. He got a win for last week, and Denver Broncos are in their own way, right? So you go through all those teams, and you start to think about it, and you say there's pressure on KC. There's pressure on Chargers because they keep winning games, and they're scoring 35, 40 points, but then they don't get the job done. LA Raiders and Denver haven't been relevant for a while, like for a very long while. And then when you go back to the East, the Dolphins and Bills have that much money into their quarterbacks. It's almost likely they have to win. Okay. Now come back to the Steelers as I come back to my camera. When we come back to the Steelers, right, we have Kenny Pickett. Everyone's right now is bagging out Kenny Pickett. Kenny Pickett can't do this. He's terrible. He's not the best quarterback. He's one of the worst quarterbacks in the division. Well, you know what makes me happy sometimes? I look to what the Jets did last night. That was awful play from Zach Wilson, an awful play from the Jets organization where they scored 6 points. And you know what? I don't care if the Steelers win by 3, win by 2, win by 1, as long as they go out there and win the game. And I don't care if it takes them 59 minutes to win the game. Kenny Pickett right now is clutch. He's going down the field. When the job counts, he has to get it done. His fourth quarter stats are unbelievable. So we've got to take that into consideration. So with the Steelers being 5-3, to me, there's no overall pressure because we're facing easier opponents like the Packers coming up, the Cardinals, the Patriots. Now we have to take care of business, that's for sure. Take care of business 100%. But in terms of the other teams, when you look around the league, the Dolphins, Bills, Jets, Ravens, Browns, Bengals, Jacksonville Jaguars, Chiefs, and Chargers, so much pressure on their organization with their quarterbacks because you got Mahomes, Herbert, Lawrence, Jackson, Watson, Burrow, Josh Allen, Tua, right? And A-Rod. More pressure on those guys just based purely on their quarterback and how much money they spend on them. Anyways, that's kind of my rant. I was just thinking around the internet and thinking a lot of people are saying we haven't got a chance. and, the Steelers should be doing this, or we suck, we're terrible mentality. But, and with my title, as I said, Steelers are not favored to win the Super Bowl, and it's a good thing. It's a good thing being right now. We're so much of an underdog. It's not even funny. Like, no one is considering us to win anything. But teams like this, gritty teams like this, not the gritty, but gritty teams like this, they find ways to win. They go to 6-3, they go to 7-3, they go to 8-3. They find ways to win. And at the end of the day, they go into the playoffs, and you don't want to face a team like Pittsburgh who's pissed off and, called the underdog, where Kenny Pickett is getting only one TD here and there. But at the same time, Kenny Pickett isn't turning the ball over. So in comparison to Josh Allen, where you watch him play, he throws interceptions, fumbles. You watch Lamar Jackson play, tries to be a hero, fumbles, turnovers. Kenny Pickett isn't doing that right now. Kenny Pickett is throwing safer footballs. He's taking care of the football, and he's getting 1 or 2 TDs a game, mostly about average 1. So when I look to the grand scheme of things and game by game, Steelers versus Green Bay, I look back to all the other teams who have a lot more pressure than we do. If the fan base for the Bills, if they don't see a Super Bowl with Josh Allen soon enough, they're going to lose their mind. The fan base for Miami Dolphins and Tua, if they don't see a Super Bowl for him, they're going to lose their mind. The fan base for the Bengals, the Ravens, and the Browns, if they don't see Super Bowl success very soon for paying so much money into the hundreds of millions of dollars for their quarterbacks, they're going to lose their mind. Right now, we're sitting pretty good with Kenny Pickett in his second year on a rookie deal with all our money going into our defense. To me, it's not too bad. And I feel like it's probably the best position we've been in a long time, because there is no expectation for the Steelers to win the Super Bowl. But on the other side of the coin, there's still hope that they can. And the Steelers are the ultimate underdog. I'll see you guys later.